Hello all and welcome to another Art of Neil video. It's part 2 of my little project of making a suit. The first suit I have ever made. Never did tailoring when I was at college and university all those years ago, probably about 19 years ago. Yeah, 19 years ago. Long time ago. Long time ago. Anyway, so, stage of where I'm at. So I've literally just finished cutting out all of my pattern pieces. I've got some with interfacing, or not interfacing, sorry, some with lining and that kind of thing. So, or interfacing as it's called, there's no lining. So what I've done is I'm using, because I've got no interfacing, like I said, so iron-on interfacing, and I just don't want to be ordering it online just yet, not until I get the real thing. So what I thought I'd do is some people don't like it, but I'm going to be spray gluing the fabric to the fabric, and then it's time to start sewing it all together and seeing how this jacket, how this bunch of fabric here turns into this. So it's going to be interesting. I'm a bit dubious because obviously I've never done this before. I've done obviously garments before, but I've never ever done tailoring before. So watch this space. So to backtrack a little bit, I actually forgot I did some footage of me cutting out the garment. So this is the pinstripe fabric that I'm now marking with my tailor's pen, or pencil if you want to call it that, my nice fabric weights, which I've had for many years. And so yeah, 2 different days, because this is, I'm only able to do this on my days off, so it's taken me a little bit longer than normal to do this kind of a project, but you know, a project's a project, and I seem to be saying project an awful lot lately because I keep watching YouTube videos, and a lot of people on there keep saying the word project. Anyway, it's a suit tux project. So here we go, and there's some lovely action of me cutting away at fabric, and you know, just prepping and getting sorted and putting. Obviously, I got all my markings in there, ready for my notches, ready for when I actually started to sew the garment and get it made up into an actual thing. So yeah, pretty good. So here I am spraying with the spray glue the lining fabric, which is going to take place of iron-on interfacing for this sample garment, and applying it to my pattern pieces that I cut out, ready for when I start sewing it. So mostly successful. Normally when I do this sort of thing, it's a lot thicker fabric, so it's easier to glue and stuff like that, like I did with a previous bag project. Now here I am doing some simple sewing to mark out with thread the buttonhole positions, as well as the fold lines and where my welt pockets will be going when the garment starts to be sewn together. All in all, it went pretty well, so yeah, happy days for that one. So I'd started sewing the garment, and I've done 2 different types of welt pocket designs, one plain and one with like a binding on top, which I didn't in the end like. It just took too long. And then this bit's towards the end of actually making the jacket. Now I actually did this completely wrong. I thought I'd got it all nice and flat, all nicely sorted, and I was just sort of base stitching it really roughly in place, just so that I could see how the jacket was lying and everything without having that the facing coming out and just getting out of place really. But hey ho, I'm not a sewer, I'm not a hand sewer, I'm a machine sewer, so there we go, and you can see my fed up face there. But hey, you know, that's the way the cookie crumbles. Obviously loads of thread ends there, but it's a toile. What do you need to be precise and not precise, what do you need to be all pernickety about ends and stuff? As long as you're getting the gist of how the garment gets put together, there's no need to be all sort of finessey unless you did such a good job that you could actually make it into a real actual garment that's finished. So this is the finished toile. So what I have discovered is read the instructions a little bit more, because I interpreted, so on this, so I've done sort of an amalgamation. So I've done this one here. So that there, which you can't really see, I've had to it's on the wrong bit because I sewed it on the main, not the lining, on the wrong side. But all in all, so button there, I've got two types. So I've got the plain welt, it's just a false welt I found out on the patterns when I was doing them, and then I've got the other welt with, now obviously it's not going to be this fabric, it's got the welt and then like a binding piping bit there. The other issue I feel I need to sort of address is I personally like to overlock my edges. So obviously in the toile I've not bothered. I would find it more of a faff to roll the hems round and do all the seams without an overlocker. So I'm going to overlock my edges for the real one. As for this, so here on the inside you've got the facing there, and that will be folded back, this will. So I might keep that feature and then hand stitch that down on the inside once I'm done. The other thing I might do is I might actually roll hem and actually stitch along, because the fabric I'm going to use, the thread I can use will hide. So I might actually top stitch all the way around to a certain point here, and then I might top stitch this, because I might not do the bit there, because I do think it's a slightly bulky and a whole load of faff for not a lot of benefit really. You could do it with piping, but anyway, so, or bias binding, sorry. I'm actually quite impressed. So I've got the two welts there, two different styles. I've got a welt at the top, little one. Happy days. So apart from that, all done. Just need to get on with just altering the sleeves, and I'm happy with the fit, which is quite remarkable. I could be pernickety, but I'm not going to, because obviously I'm wearing a t-shirt underneath, not anything else, no shirts, no nothing. So that means, you know, I need a bit of room. The other issue I'm going to have to sort of think about is these things. But yeah, real one is the next process. Swishy, swishy. I forgot how good a tux looks with a Star Trek top. Star Trekking across the universe in a tux.